Uh, Welcome to Babbling Buffoons. All babbling, all buffoonery. This is our first podcast, our first episode. Today, we're going to start off with just talking about AI since it seems to be the hot topic of everything since it's involved with everything. My name is Alex,
I'm Jack.
and yeah, we'll get it started with that. My thing is I don't even know where to begin though, honestly, because it seems to be involved with everything.
I mean, look at it. It's in every job that you have. They're going AI, they're going robots, they're eliminating people's jobs. I mean, it's everywhere. It's on the internet. You could type in anything you want, bring it up AI, and it's got the answer for you immediately.
Here's my thing though. Will it really be beneficial? Because there was that one video forever ago with that Amazon robot that after doing that service thing, it just collapsed.
I did not see that actually.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I did not see that, but I need to.
Oh yeah, it's like in a stationary spot, and like its only job was to like I think like grab like packages or something like off a shelf and whatnot. And after like so many hours of just repeated process, it just collapsed and shut itself down because it realized that was all it was gonna do, and it just stopped.
Wow. If you remember though, our old boss went to a facility and it had robot forklifts, it had robot pickers, it had robot restockers. It was pretty much 90% robot in his warehouse. And it took away a lot of jobs.
I think I remember hearing about that, but didn't they say that even though like it was robots, they were still having more issues with it trying to actually do what they needed it to do?
I think so. I know she said that, what was that? I can't even remember exactly, but she was basically saying that if one robot got stalled in the aisle, the other forklift robot wasn't able to do anything because that aisle had not been cleared out yet, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's fine. AI's no.
No,
No.
not for me either.
I'm not saying AI can be bad. I'm just saying though, for right now, with certain specific machinery, with how many too many problems and glitches that it's already having and issuing, till it gets more developed and whatnot, I would just stick to using people and stuff. I mean, eventually, yeah, I do foresee us being replaced by machinery and whatnot, but like right now, the AI, in my opinion's still a newborn, still in diapers. It's not really grown up enough to really take the reins to do anything.
Well, let me ask you this. AI, if it comes into our workplace and it eliminates jobs, how are people and companies in general, with CEOs, manufacturing, everything like that, going to be able to afford to sell their product if it's eliminating jobs and people don't have an income?
Basically, I think the job market will shift to basically we'll start going to mining because we'll need to mine all that metal and stuff like that to build the robots and the circuitries and stuff. So I think the job market will just shift from us working in a warehouse to us working in some kind of mine or uh, some kind of scavenging or scavenging type deal. Because I mean, if you think about it, all the metal that's required to build those machineries and whatnot, and especially they're going to keep trying to go bigger, especially for like shipping containers and stuff like that. You're going to need a big AI robot. Yeah, we have cranes and stuff like that, but without humans to connect the hooks to do stuff like that, you need a robot to do that. Eventually, we're going to be like, why don't we just build a really big robot that can just pick this up like it's nothing?
Well, yeah, I see what your point, but robots are going to build robots. Once
What you
the
think?
select few jobs that you're talking about goes into effect, now it's robots building robots and hooking robots up. Because once that first couple people make that first big robot, that all the robots are going to do everything else. You see it in car manufacturing now. Back in the day, people actually built our cars. Now it's all robots putting them together.
But you also got to look at the time frame and look at the car designs and look at the difference in technology. Back in the day, their car frames were very standard and simple, square box designs and whatnot. Very easy for them to put together on the assembly lines and stuff like that. You look at cars nowadays, they got a shell within a shell, all this wiring inside, specific welds have to be hit at certain angles and really need to make sure that they're welded for safety reasons and stuff like that. So I can understand the difference of needing certain robots to do certain things now for vehicles compared to vehicles back in the day that we made by hand. There is a big difference.
Which do you think is more safe, though? The ones that robots are building or the ones humans built?
Honestly, technically, no vehicle's ever safe.
Right.
Because I mean, no matter how safe or whatnot you try to make a vehicle, no matter how many airbags you put in it, how many detection sensors and stuff like that, people still get hurt. People still tragically die in them. They can, every vehicle every year that comes out constantly wants to keep being like, we are now the safest vehicle. But then you hear about an accident, you hear they're driving the vehicle, and you're like, wait, wasn't they were the safest or supposed to be the safest? So it's like, no vehicle is safe. We all choose to get in it to get where we got to go because it's the fastest way to get there, and it's one of the easiest ways to get there.
So, benefits of AI versus human. AI is probably what? More accurate, more steady because they don't need brakes. Companies don't have to pay for insurance. They don't have to pay for anything other than just the electric they're using. Or human factor, you got fatigue, you got people, human error, messing up on things.
Hey, I can still do the same thing in the logistics system. It can misinform shipments. It can cross-reference the wrong information of payment and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's human error on one side, but AI can still have its own error in the system. And to be honest, like if an AI messes up the system, how are you going to go in there to fix it? You need a human now to go do it because if your AI is busted, that's running your system. How you it's not going to call in for help from another AI system because it thinks it's doing the right job and whatnot. So the only other way to get something in there to fix it is to have a human go in there, either do it itself or send in a program, to fix it. So there's always going to have to be I feel like a human element for the most part until eventually robots, maybe hit a Skynet point, build themselves, and then, realize,
Yeah.
oh, there's an error in the system. Fixing error, you know?
Yeah, but companies are going to go that way. They'd rather pay one or two people to go in and worry about fixing an error that happened at that time frame versus having people. I mean, if you have people picking products, shipping it out, you constantly have human error to where one, they could ship it to the wrong place, two, they don't meet their deadline, and three, really throw off inventory completely within the warehouse. If you have a robot and there's an error, 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to catch itself once it's leveled up to that part. Now, yeah, you're talking maybe 100 people doing a job that now they're only going to have 2 or 3 people in there to make sure the AI don't mess up. And that head count right there is a lot of money in insurance, a lot of money in wages, and a lot of money in accidents as well because, out there people get hurt. They try to speed up.
Yeah, but at the same time, how much money is it going to cost to buy a robot? They're still going to have insurance on the robot for if it does actually break down or causes any problems and whatnot. So how much do you think that's actually going to cost compared to a person? And then on top of that, kind of like you said, yeah, they buy these robots to do this stuff, but then who's going to buy their products if you don't have people making money to buy said product? So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's one of those we'll just have to see where it goes. Because I mean, I understand their point of wanting the robots, but at the same time, do they actually see when they do that what that's going to do to people? Because people aren't making money to buy things, how's the company going to stay running? Because you need people to buy your stuff.
They'll phase it out a little bit at a time, is what I think.
What do you mean?
You're going to replace a robot, might place 10 people. And then here later on, once they get a little bit more money, they'll place another robot for another 10 people. They'll start simplifying the jobs. They'll start simplifying the tasks to where that now machinery is going to fix it. Well, I would have ever thought that the car manufacturing would have literally took their head count and drastically cut it for how now robots weld. Like you said, they do all the wiring, they do all this circuitry. No, I wouldn't have thought of that when I was younger. But now that you see it there, why can't it be done across the board throughout?
Well, no, I mean, they do a lot of the welding for the frames in certain parts of the vehicle, but there's still humans that still actually like put the wiring in through the car through certain aspects and stuff like that the robots can't do just yet. Because I've seen little clips of like the robots and like how they move and stuff. Like I haven't actually seen a robot that's like can move like a human hand to be able to like get in there and do that. I mean, there could be those out there. I don't know. What's out there for robotics and stuff, because I know there's constant advancements with it and things like that on a day-to-day basis and whatnot, which actually, if I remember, I think I saw a clip of a little girl that actually has a robotic arm and whatnot that she actually was able to disconnect and sit on a table and still work and
Yeah, I
whatnot.
seen that one.
Yeah, so yeah, you know what I was talking about
Yeah,
then.
I
Yeah.
seen that. That
So
I
yeah,
was wondering if that was real or if that's just made up. But
I don't know. It
I've
looked like
never
it was
looked
on a
into it.
talk show. So I mean,
That
that
is
could have
probably
been
real.
legit, but I have no clue. But at the same time, like I said, you see if that was real, you see where we're at potentially with robotics now. Who's to say in another 5 years where we could be? I think here within the next 10 to 15 years, we're going to start having bioengineering.
Well, I mean, I've seen something along the lines is that they predict next 10 to 15 years robots in every house. Then they also said that when you go in and get checked by a doctor, you literally won't even see a human. You'll walk in, you'll get into this cube. The cube will scan every biometric of you and tell you what's wrong and diagnose you then. And you'll just walk out and go get what you need to
That'd be
take
great.
care of yourself.
You know how great that would be? Eliminates guesswork, eliminates time. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it sucks all that time a person spent to be a doctor and whatnot, but if I can go in and get a quick scan and they're like, your lymph nodes are a little swollen, you have an ulcer in your stomach.
You're definitely going to want to cut that out, Billy.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. But, and like, if they gave me a quick diagnosis and they're like, here's what we can do for your treatment. Cool, thank you. Walk right out. No worry. I'd love that.
I mean, look at it now. Procedures. They use robotic arms to go in and fix stuff. I mean, that's great. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
if I'm going to go in and I know something's going to be nice and steady to fix me, I'd rather have a robot in there fixing me than I would somebody that could be shaking a little bit because of nervous or just plain out. Maybe they're an older doctor and they're just not as confident anymore.
Well, not even that, but like the fact of the matter is like they could be in there doing something and then like say like, one of their assistants bumps a tray, makes a slight noise, and then like because the doctor's such focus, it makes him and he does a quick jerk. Next thing you know, I can't talk out the right side of my mouth.
Yep,
I don't need something like that.
exactly.
But it's just crazy how just like I said, AI is a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. It just depends how it's implemented, how it's worked, what the processes is and steps are like that. I know they want to replace us with machinery, but at the same time, it's not there yet to where it needs to be to replace this. So I think warehouse people and other like big manufacturing jobs like shipment facilities, stuff like that. I think they have time.
I don't. I think they have 2 to 5 years.
Really,
I think that with how I see things going out there, especially in the workforce, the blue collared, I think you have way less time than that. I think you have 2 to 5 years, and you'll start seeing a lot of people getting moved out, basically.
maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think we have a little bit of time.
I hope so, but it's not looking promising. I mean, you also have to think, I mean, AI in the workplace, AI out in the real world, they have the ability to check everything, hack everything, watch you. It's crazy. You can go on YouTube right now. You can literally say, I want to watch Ohio State Michigan game, or I want to watch Texas Oklahoma game. Once you put that in and you're watching football, that's what pops up. It's completely crazy how the AI and everything.
Well, that's an algorithm.
Oh yeah, algorithm, but AI is going to do the same thing, and it's going to control everything.
I'm honestly surprised AI hasn't taken over. They haven't used AI for like certain aspects of like little, because like my thing is this, like with AI, you could, especially with simple little camera drones, like I'm surprised we don't have little camera drones flying around the city all the damn time, monitoring everything, and stuff like that. Because think about it. Imagine if you just had a bunch of little tiny drones with cameras on it that just flew around the city streets and monitor crime. Being run by AI, being able to use that to detect if a crime's taking place and whatnot. I don't even think it'd be that inexpensive, really.
Well, think about it. You already brought it up, and we're just average Joes out here babbling and talking. But you think somebody else hasn't already thought of that? And I'm pretty sure if they have, it's probably going to happen.
I mean, possibly. The only thing I could see being the slight issue is they'd have to set up Wi-Fi like network establishments, across the city, to be able to operate the drones and for the feedback to get sent to where it needs to go.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I know what is it, London? Not London in general, but like in England, don't they like have like cameras watching the streets over there and stuff like that? Is
I
it?
believe so.
Is it in England? Like,
I believe
yeah.
so.
So if they got that, and with how drones have advanced so much nowadays, to where you can get ones that are, what, the size of a fidget spinner and whatnot, and you're telling me with how cameras are nowadays and how small we've made cameras that you and with how small a camera could be, it could be like, I don't even know, like what a pinhead. What's the word I'm looking for? Thumbnail. The size of a thumbnail lens and whatnot, the back of a thumbnail, or even
Yeah.
smaller, with high definition quality. And you're telling me that we can't have little ones flying around cities and whatnot, helping report or prevent crimes?
Oh, definitely. Definitely going to happen. Maybe not in our lifetime. That might be a little bit too far out there, but,
I don't know, man. With drones are really inexpensive to build nowadays.
they are, but actually getting the system set up to do that. Like you said, the Wi-Fi would probably be the thing. You put a Wi-Fi in a town, let's just say it's a small town of 10,000 people. It's a decent little town. Let's just say you set it up and you have the Wi-Fi. There's still going to be gray areas where those drones ain't patrolling. You're still going to see crime.
Well, that's the thing. If you get a bunch of them that are that small and whatnot with those high definition cameras, because like I said, look at the cameras on phones and whatnot. Like the lens inside it's small and stuff, or even just like the camera lens that you get when you buy like a hidden camera inside stuff. Because like there's them little like block chargers and whatnot that have a camera inside. Like that lens is really small and it captures decent detail. You tell them, and we have cameras that are stronger than that. And you're telling me we can't put them on a little drone the size of a fidget spinner and have a bunch of them flying around the area?
So what we're talking about is introducing drones with AI capability of monitoring us. Do you
Only the
believe?
streets.
Okay, but where do we stop on that? We implement them, and you know how our society runs. Now we have them everywhere. What if you leave your window open? I mean, you and your girl, you're in there, you're comfortable, you're watching TV, you're doing this, you're doing that. Maybe your daughter's over hanging out, and they literally land a drone right outside your window and they start watching you. It is invasion of privacy. However, your window's open. How do you know that they're monitoring you while you're busy with your family and everything?
I mean, that is potentially true, but at the same time, if you program the AI to where the drone is just meant to like hover over the streets and sections of what it's supposed to do and just do like kind of like a monitoring sweep like this type motion, shouldn't have to necessarily be a problem, because that's the only thing they're meant to do, is just to kind of watch the street area, which is a public place, which needs to be safe. There's no reason why the drone should be anywhere close to your window or like go past a sidewalk presence. If it sees a threat, it'll can like see it, send a signal to the authorities to let them know, hey, this is going on, in this, and because it has a GPS location in it already, it'll ping the location of where it's at. They'll know where the police will know where to go for the crime. So if you set it up like that in that aspect, you should never see one by your window or have an invasion of privacy.
You would hope so, but AI has already started disconnecting themselves from us.
Have they really?
I've seen something. I really wish I knew for sure, but what if they do? What if we have?
Then we do iRobot and we just, got to do what we got to do.
Okay, you're talking little drones like that.
Yeah.
What do you anticipate on doing? Shooting them out of the sky?
No, you just go to the central networking and just disable it.
Then what if they have robots guarding that? What if it's limited access allowed in there?
Okay, drop a missile on it. Blow it up.
Alex, you're talking about deploying
But here's the thing.
now
If that happened...
military force on our soil against AI.
But the thing is, the military is going to be connected with that, because at that point...
How? What if AI separates themselves?
The military would know instantly.
You would. What if it was... I'm telling you right now, AI disconnects itself. How are we going to know? It could take a while for it to do it slowly and secretly. You may not know until that last code is written and everything goes to lockdown.
Yeah, it's true. That's why AI is a double-edged sword. That's why it can be a dangerous thing, but it can be a good thing. We're either going to go down the path of Skynet, or like half of the other science fiction movies where it actually helps us and benefits us for mankind. But
that's okay. There you go. There, mankind writing it and implementing it. You don't think greed and everything from other countries are going to lead it down that path? Because our world leaders, they're going to be greedy. They have this. They're in control. They want to control it. And honestly, they're going to control it to control the people.
Yeah, but
That's why I think AI is bad.
yeah, but hopefully we might get lucky in like some of the other movies that we get that one sentient that disconnects itself, realizes what's going on, and fixes the problem.
I hope so, but I doubt it.
Hey, you never know. Sometimes movies could be end up being true. We don't know.
No, we don't. But we got our world leaders to think about, and
I don't think about them because they don't think about us. But that's a different topic for a different day. We're on AI.
They're going to want to control that AI.
Oh, they can want to control everything. Eventually, AI is going to control itself.
So you're talking about drones. Why not just put cameras everywhere?
Cameras
Down
are
certain
already
alleys.
everywhere.
Exactly. So why are we going to implement drones with cameras? For mobility?
There you go.
I mean,
What better way to also to keep follow of a perp? Say you lose foot pursuit. You got a little drone following them.
that's true.
That could help out with that because you know how many criminals or killers could actually have been caught that were lost in a foot pursuit. If a little drone was able to keep up with them and follow them, could have saved some lives on that. Like I said, with it, all this, like there's always the good, there's always the bad. AI is literally a coin flip, and in my opinion, it just depends on what side of the coin it lands on. For us, will depend on how it turns out to benefit for us. Either it's going to land on the side where it helps us, or it's going to land on the side where it don't. And that's just for me where I feel it's at. Like it's.
I think the three countries going to moving forward with this AI before the United States is actually going to be Japan, China, and the UK. Because UK, you already have to have like a digital ID or something like that now.
I've been hearing about they.
And I know Japan's the same way. They face recognition.
That's China. I know that does the face recognition.
Well, I know Japan's in the process of doing the same thing.
Are they
For
really?
their like subway systems and everything like that. Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, where you'll be able to go in and everything. So it's going to definitely be interesting to see how everything moving forward. I pray that it doesn't affect a lot of people's jobs out there. Small business owners will probably take a hit first with the AI, just because larger companies are going to be able to use it. I mean, you got self-checkout lines now. That's some type of robotic types thing. You can go and just scan your own stuff and pay your own stuff. I mean, it replaced what? It used to go into stores when I was a kid with my grandma and grandpa, my mom and dad, and everything would be open with people standing at the registers on a Saturday, Sunday, because that's their busiest shopping days.
Yeah.
Now you go in and they might have 3 people standing at a cashier register and the rest is checkout.
Yeah.
That's AI, ain't it? In my opinion.
And then the sad thing is now the self-checkout lines get more of a line than the regular lines do and whatnot. So now you're almost to the point sometimes I'm like, I'd rather just go in a regular line than the self-checkout.
I'll go to the regular line just to have human interaction.
Yeah, I do like to have that sometimes. Like, I do use the self-checkout here and there. If I only have, like, 1 or 2 items, like, I'm not going to waste other people's time that, like, have, like, cart full of items for 1 or 2 in a regular checkout line. I'll go to self-checkout. But if I have a decent amount and there's, like, no one really there, not that many people, I'll use not self-checkout. I'll go and, have a person actually, check me out. Because it is nice to have that human interaction. Because it reminds me, like you said, when I was a kid, I even remember going into stores and just seeing a person at a cash register in like every checkout line, because like you said, nowadays there's only 2 or 3 people working, all of them are empty. I remember growing up seeing maybe only 1 or 2 empty and every one of them being filled. So it's like completely 180'd itself from being a kid to nowadays.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's where our society in general, now that we live in, not just here in the United States but other places, is that they're pushing less interaction with people. And they want you to flow faster through their system. I mean, don't get me wrong, like you just said, cart full of stuff. I think people with cart full of stuff shouldn't even go through the self-checkout line. Shouldn't even be allowed. That should be something quick, maybe 10 items, 20 items less. Remember in the stores, they used to have a checkout aisle of, 5 to 10 items or less?
I thought it was 15. It was like 15 or less items. Yeah, it was like express checkout or an express lane or something like that. Yeah, for like people who had some things, but not a cart full of things that needed to just kind of quickly go and didn't want to, waste other people's time being in line that had cart full of stuff.
Yeah, I've actually been behind people in them self-checkouts that actually had like 2 carts. Husband was pushing one, wife was pushing the other. And I'm like, really? There's an open lane. There's down the waiter down there. You could go to that. And they'd be standing there scanning everything, taking time up, jamming the area up. But
it's not only that, but it's like you got all that stuff in a little tiny area to try to fill and whatnot, when you could have gone to the line, thrown all of it on a belt, and then not only does a person scan it for you so you don't have to even do nothing, they bag it for you. Then the only thing you really have to do is just once the roller gets around, you just start grabbing your bags and putting the stuff excuse me, in the cart. That's the only interaction you got to do.
Yeah. And also, that's where they're going to maximize their profits. They reduced headcount to bring a system in to take care of everything for you. So
But
now you're paying the store for your food, and you're actually doing the job that somebody else used to do by bagging it and scanning it.
But I don't know how true this is. I've meant to look it up, but forgot to. I've heard Walmart, since implementing self checkout, has actually been losing money like really bad and whatnot because people are just stealing things from it because they're not scanning it or whatnot as they're leaving it, because you don't have to stop and have someone look at your receipt and whatnot when you're leaving Walmart. People are just taking things as they go because they don't have a person there, to be able to look at the cart to make sure everything got scanned, or have them go through and scan everything and whatnot. So,
I actually wouldn't need to see a video on that to know that's true, because I'm sure it is. People act like they scan it, put it in their bag. Act like they scan it, put it in their bag, and then scan something just to make that go off.
yeah, scan a couple of things so they have a receipt or whatnot to make it seem like they purchased. Because when you're leaving and that person asks to see your receipt, you don't have to stop for them. Like,
No.
that's not a policy or anything. Like, you don't have to stop and show them your receipt. You can literally just keep walking and say, I don't need to, have a good day. Like, and there's nothing they can do about it.
No.
A lot of people think you gotta stop. You don't. You can literally just keep walking past him. You don't even have to respond to him. If he's like, can I see your receipt? You can just ignore him and just keep on going about your day and whatnot. A lot of people stop because they think they got to, or for some weird, mind reason. Like, I used to do it, but then, one day I was like, why do I need to stop and show him my receipts? Like, I paid for everything. Like,
Even if I didn't, I'm not going to show you a receipt. I'm just going to keep walking. I mean, yeah, I will stop. I mean, I'm not one of them people that's just going to blow right by him. I have nothing to hide. But you're right. You don't have to stop.
yeah.
But most people, they do. I love what's going on in the background, man. I do. I love it.
Get it on, Billy. Get it on.
Get it on, man. Get that workout. But no.
He watched that AI video on how to do a proper sit-up.
I wouldn't doubt it, man. I wouldn't doubt it. Hey, I wouldn't doubt it. Way to go.
Oh,
Yeah.
love you, Billy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, hell, I'm waiting for AI to start replacing our Air Force. I mean, technically, it has replaced it in a sense because we have drones and stuff. But I'm talking actually like fighter jets, like stealth bombers and stuff like that. Like, instead of a man pilot in there, I'm waiting for them to have like an actual AI thing in there to do that.
Well, you brought up movies a while back, right?
Like,
Human
yeah.
air in an airplane is probably less than an AI robot air. I mean, if you look at it, and I say the rules of engagement are so many feet, those robots in the plane are going to be designated. This is how high I can go. This is how low I can go. This is when I can engage, when I can't engage. They're going to have rules. They're going to have limits. Human air, if I know I'm against a robot, I'm pushing that plane as high as I can, and I'm coming down on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple. Where I'm going as low as I can. They can't attack me, because let's say they said it at 10,000 feet. You can't go past 10,000 feet. A robot's not going to go there. I'm going to go below it, come right back up, take it out. Now, is that possible? Probably not. They're probably going to have a weapons defense on it and everything to make it to where it dodges it. But yeah, let's try it. Let's put them in there. But I'm telling you now, when it comes to flying, I'd rather trust a person than I would a robot.
I mean, I definitely would too, because one of the things that, like, I don't know if we've ever fully understood it, and people talk about it, is like instincts. Like, sometimes, like, there's probably been plenty of times where like a pilot went to go like engage in something, and then just something told him like, don't do it. Like, don't press the trigger, don't drop the bomb, and then they come to find out later, something was there, and they were like, oh man, if I would have did that, this could have happened or that could have happened. It could have been way worse and whatnot. But I'm glad whatever that feeling I got told me not to do it. With the robot, like you were saying, it's not going to know that. It's going to just be programmed. Target directive is this. Get to this point, drop it. It's not going to have that feeling of being like, something don't feel right about this. It's just going to be like, I'm here at the target. All right, I'm at the drop point. Release. I'm out. And then, after it comes to light what happened, and it's still an AI. It's not going to recognize or feel bad for what happened. It's just going to be like, I accomplished the task that I was given, that I was programmed to give. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't want it to happen either, but there is the potential that they could still do it. Because, I mean, if you think about it, we're kind of, in a sense, halfway there when you look at, even though they're man-flown drones, but it's still an AI drone with no pilot in it being flown by someone at a station. So we're technically halfway there with an AI robot, being, even though it's flown by man.
Oh yeah,
there's
you
no
could be
pi-
across. You could be across the world flying
Yeah.
AI drone robot,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, and you're dropping bombs on stuff.
And that's what I'm
you're
saying.
not even near it.
Yeah, and
You
like
could
I
be
said,
sitting at home running a video game, thinking you're running a video game. You're actually doing a drone.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So we're like already like halfway there with it. So who's to say that we haven't tried to go and push beyond it?
Right, Billy. How much more time do we got on that? I know it's only for an hour. It'll be 32.
32 minutes left, or that's how long we've been going.
That's what's left.
Oh, that's what's left.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
No, we got. So we'll do about another 20 minutes to 12. At 12:30, just go ahead and give us a thumb or something, so Alex can do the outro. But
Gotta do that outro. At least give it a try. You'll have to wait and see, though.
goofball, right? But
Hey,
no,
you gotta be a little bit in life. Gotta have fun. But
the thing that would be cool is tanks with AI robots running them. I mean, tank is a death trap for anybody inside of it, right? So if I'm
Yeah.
gonna get rocketed, I'd rather lose a robot than a human life.
yeah, well, more than one human life if
Yeah,
you think
'cause
about
you're
it.
running
Because
more than
I
one
would
person in
say what the average tank for any nation, and I'm just rough guessing this. Like I have no actual official knowledge on this. Is I would assume to possibly be like a 3 to 5 man crew.
That's
maybe.
what I was thinking too. I have no data to back that up. But
Yeah, I
3
don't
to
either,
5.
but I would assume because I would assume like you got the driver, the pilot. I think there's like the gunner guy that operates the actual gun itself. And then I think you have like the person who stands above the tank to like give instructions or stuff. And I think there's like, so I think the average might be 4 people per like maybe a
Okay.
tank unit. But I could see your point on that. Yeah, I would rather lose a robot and some circuitry than to lose, potentially 3 lives or more, and whatnot.
Yeah, three lives to 5 lives is
Like that
it's
and
huge.
convoy trucks, in a sense. Like, not. What am I thinking of here? Well, no, because we would need those and whatnot. So yeah, never mind. Scratch that one. But yeah, tanks would definitely be a good one. Now, what about like, is there any like marine vessels or anything that would actually benefit from being operated off of AI, or would that possibly still just be better being man?
I'd be completely honest. If you brought that to a Marine, since Marines are in my family, they wouldn't even go for it. Marines are Marines for a reason. They're
You don't think they would find any use for
No.
AI whatsoever in
No,
anything
not a
that they
Marine.
could do?
Not a Marine. They're hardcore. They want to go in. They want to be the first. They want to be
So
the last out.
they want to stay as old school as possible in a sense.
I believe so. The Marines that are in my family, yeah, they
Now-
would not want that.
Now, what do you think about the Navy? Do you think the Navy could benefit from AI?
Navy could benefit a lot from it because you got destroyers, you got subs, you got aircraft, you got everything.
You think because also with the ballistic missiles and stuff that they have on board, if they do, I don't know what.
I think AI would be more beneficial for the Navy shooting down stuff coming towards them. Because
Defensive purpose?
I think they would be more accurate on the defensive end shooting things
and
down.
be able to detect it faster and respond faster than
Uh-huh.
what a person would need to do.
I believe so.
Especially probably for a submarine, and whatnot. Because in
No,
a
I
sub,
would not trust AI in a submarine because a lot of subs
Really?
hold nuclear power.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, I would try to keep AI out of that because if it for some reason misunderstands something or say a circuit fries itself and causes an
Or someone
error,
hacks it.
there's also that. Or what if the AI somehow miraculously, self-awares itself and just, shoots off a missile and causes a problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely try to keep it out of at least nuclear power submarines because I'm pretty sure, are all submarines nuclear powered?
I don't know. I know the one Trump just sent over to Russia was nuclear powered, and it was just miles off the coast. It was like, try it. Now, I don't know if they're all, but I'm sure if we have them, other countries have them.
Oh, I'm sure, but I don't know, man. Like I've always wanted to actually go inside of a submarine but at the same time, I don't.
No, not me neither.
You know, you see it in movies and stuff. You're like, that looks cool. Don't want to go there.
Now, do you trust the AI in as robots being part of our police force? We're talking Army, Navy, and Air Force. Now, how about her on the ground here in the United States as our police force and everywhere else in the world too?
I actually could agree with that because one, it would cut out a lot of people trying to use their ethnicity as, you know, like a reasoning for abuse and stuff. Because if a robot is doing it and they're a robot and they're just programmed with all the laws, everything that needs to be followed, stuff like that, like, and that's their only job is to make sure the law is followed and you respect it and stuff. They have no care or worry about who you are as a person. They're just like, hey, you broke the law, you are under arrest, or here is your ticket and whatnot. They, you know, no one can use the excuse or anything of feeling segregated out by certain officers or stuff like that because of who they are, how they talk, what they look like, stuff like that. So I actually see the benefit in that. And that actually could maybe even cut down on a lot of crime, a lot of issues and stuff like that because they are just programmed to follow the law. They know all the law. They can't bend the law, break the law. Well, technically they could if they got hacked. That's the only problem with all of this still is hacking.
No, not really. If you think about it, cops nowadays, law enforcement nowadays, is a little bit more compassionate and help bend the rules a little bit to help accommodate people. Here, you got National Guard deployed. They take orders. They're going to do whatever they're told to do.
Yeah.
They have to do it. AI, you program them laws. There's not going to be any sympathy. There's not going to be any of that. If somebody's reaching for something that may be construed as a weapon, maybe force is taken, then you're going to have people saying this is a human and AI crime, and people won't start crying. Yeah, they're going to take their ethnic background out of it, their way of thinking out of it by using AI, but AI could enforce stuff and interpret stuff a lot more than what human interaction does.
But the thing is, AI only interprets what it's programmed to interpret. So that eventually then all falls down on the programmer on what they implement into the system to determine what that AI does.
Right, and then you're still talking about human.
It still always then comes down to human problems and human error for AI. So until AI becomes sentient enough on its own to somehow go off on its own to better its own self, everything's still going to fall down to human error no matter what gets made or done.
Well, it's human interaction too. Humans are stupid when it comes to stuff like that. When it comes to authority, they don't want to be told to do or restrained or anything, especially if they're not in the wrong. If people are not in the wrong, that robot interprets, hey, it's wrong. Let's say you ran a stop sign and really it's just a ticket and you start yelling at it, you start pushing it, whatever. Let's say you get out of your car. Now it's going to take as, force against a human and then force against robots.
But
what's going to happen?
But the thing is, though, is did I need to escalate it that much? I mean, I broke the law by running the stop sign.
Like I said, humans, we're stupid enough to try to combat that when it first comes out. Now, longevity-wise, do I think it would work? Yeah, because you're going to have people growing up with it. You'll have the younger crowd growing up with it. For example, your daughter, my daughter, people like that are having kids now. They're going to grow up with this human AI interaction. I'm not. I never grew up with it. If I have a robot come up to me and try to do something and I know I'm not wrong, you got a lot of us out there in that population, in that time frame from 30 to 70 that aren't going to be told what to do with robots because we don't understand it fully.
I mean, that just comes with change of times. That's just with every generation. Because if you think about it, just like a great term to exemplify that is just slang. I mean, every generation of new kids come up with new slang and whatnot. Like what I thought, or my slang was I brought up some words to my daughter and she was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? And I'm like, okay, what do you guys say? Then she tells me, I'm like, what does that even mean?
Exactly.
Just in that little bit of time frame, of a just gaps, and stuff. And that's just words, So imagine just the difference, like what you were saying with AI and stuff. Yeah, we didn't grow up with it, so we'll challenge it because we're used to challenging things and whatnot. But if they grow up with it and they grow up being told, they're programmed with all the laws. They're programmed to, only stop you or interact with you if you break or do a wrongdoing of the law. So, if they stop you, do what you're told and stuff like that, because they'll be used to it. We're not, so that's the reason why we would challenge it and stuff. So it
Yeah.
just comes down to, like what you were saying, how it's grown up and what they do.
All right. Well, we're gonna probably end it on that one. We're gonna leave it up to you guys to put comments out there for us and let us know what you guys think. Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And what are your thoughts on that?
It's true. We appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed the first episode. Again, this is Babbling Buffoons. All babbling, all buffoonery. See you next time.